So I am in this Facebook group for nurses, and somebody asked us to share our true, scary, haunted nursing experiences. And since I have been a nurse like forever, I thought I'd share some of these with you because let me tell you something, nobody knows ghosts like nurses. Hello, I'm glad to see you. I hope you're enjoying spooky season. And yeah, I know I'm kind of doing a lot of these videos. I've just found so many things that are they're just interesting. And I thought you all might like them too. I don't feel like you can really be a nurse and not experience some woo-woo. You know, it just happens. It goes with the territory. So in this Facebook group, they shared some really interesting stories, and let's dive in and tell some spooky tales for Halloween. The first one, telemetry tracing coming across the central monitor system at the nurses station. Okay, for those of you that aren't nurses, like usually somebody sits in the telemetry room and they're watching all these screens. It's got the patient's name and they're watching the rhythm. Okay, so there was nobody in the room, and the name on the tracing is an expired patient. It has happened more than once, always the same patient name. Okay, the way that's written, basically, if you couldn't catch that, they're sitting in the telemetry room and they're watching this heart monitor, and it's live, like it's picking up the live monitor, and it's always the same expired patient's name in a room that's empty. So yeah, I would say something is trying to suggest that he's still hanging around, he or she, whatever. That's pretty spooky. Okay, the facility I just traveled to was really active. There was a lady in white who would walk back and forth across the hall between patient rooms. I nicknamed her La Llorona. There's also a hat man there. He was lingering between two patient rooms the last shift I worked. I really liked the people whose rooms he was hanging out between, so I'm grateful that I'm no longer there. Historically, he turns up when someone is going to die. That's not really that uncommon to see shadows and people and a lot of stuff, especially if you're in a facility where people do pass, you know. In the first hospital I worked in, we had an entire top floor closed down and locked because apparently a bunch of children died up there and haunted it so badly a janitor had a heart attack. My gosh, up there years after their deaths. They locked it indefinitely after that. At night, the lights would flicker frequently, and when they did, you would feel a cold presence move past you. Needless to say, I didn't stay long. There is something about children and hospitals. Yeah, that happens a lot. I don't know why children. I worked in a hospital that was very haunted, and people, used to say they saw this little girl in a yellow dress all the time, and then there was a certain floor, they shut that one down too. Kind of same situation. They shut the floor down. And I worked all different kind of shifts through the night and whatever. I never experienced anything paranormal in that hospital, but a lot of very practical, normal nurses, would admit to being scared of the little girl. So I believe that. We had a palliative patient's wife call around 4 a.m. A palliative patient means that you're just doing comfort care, okay? They're in the process of dying and you're really not doing anything but keeping them comfortable. So the wife calls around 4 a.m. and asked if we had called her. Said her phone rang, it was the hospital number, but hadn't gotten to it in time. Told her no, we didn't call. And she asked how her husband was, and I told her the same, comfortable. And she hung up the phone, and the nurse came in and said he had passed. Guess he was calling to let his wife know. Wow. Yeah. Look, like I said, it happens. One night, my coworker and I were charting at the desk. I looked up and saw a misty cloud hovering in the doorway of one of the patient's rooms. I told my coworker to look over there and tell me if she saw what I was seeing. Her mouth fell open and she said, "What is that?" As soon as she said that, the mist started floating towards the exit of the unit. We both ran into the patient's room, and he was deceased. So, well, I don't know. Was that him leaving? I hope that was just him, like, passing. Maybe he was just saying bye? No. I randomly picked up a night shift a couple of weeks ago. My first fully overnight. Yeah. 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, it gets spooky. We're sitting in report, and a patient called out needing to go to the bathroom. So the tech that was about to leave went to help her so we could finish report. She comes back looking completely terrified. Said she was putting the patient back in bed when she heard a little kid call for its mom. She said the noise came from the sink area in the room, but there was no one else in there. One of the day shift nurses said, "Oh yeah, we've been hearing it all day. Every time I hear it, someone dies." And sure enough, like 10 minutes later, someone passed. If you hear a little kid's voice, just leave. Okay, was working 11 to 7 and was pushing the med cart out into the hall. Looking to my left, I saw Ruthie, one of the other night RNs at the end of the hall, entering a patient's room. Walked a few steps and remembered that Ruthie was found dead at home the previous week. Walked down the hall and into the room. I saw Ruthie enter. Both patients were asleep. No Ruthie. Oh my gosh. Would be just my luck to realize that even after death, nurses are still on the job. Wow. Not me. If I'm not getting paid, I'm not working. Wow. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine like seeing your coworker go into a room and then, you're so used to seeing it and then, forgetting literally, oh, she died last week. Oh my gosh. Oof. What did you think about that one? I worked night shift in an LTC facility. I was caring for the sweetest elderly man who sang in the church choir his whole life, and he loved to sing to us. On the night he was passing, 2 CNAs and myself were in the room trying to comfort him. He passed at 3 a.m., and when he did, church bells played across the intercom. Everyone in the building heard it. Still gives me chills. Wow. Wow. That's pretty cool, though, don't you think? I mean, at least he was going to a better place, right? That's cool. I like that story. I worked at a nursing and rehab facility. I had a patient die during my shift one day, and it was a patient I had cared for a really long time. Shortly after she passed, I was standing at my computer down the hall, charting, when I suddenly felt a warm hand gently but firmly grab my shoulder from behind. I turned around thinking it was my CNA needing something, but nobody was there. I really do think my patient that passed was telling me thank you and goodbye. I can see that. I really can. That's kind of sweet though, right? I remember this one now. In the hallway just across from the nurse's station, this always happened on the new night staff. Roll the pencil off the desk and it rolls straight down the middle of the hallway. And everyone goes, "So what? The floor slants." Evil smile. "Send me back that pencil, please." The pencil will stop, turn, and roll back to the base of the station fast. We just respond, "Thank you." People have quit. Oh my God. Ghost tricks. Maybe I need to try to start a thread on ghost tricks. Wow. Yeah, that is unexplainable. Okay? Oh, here's a good one. Several rooms on only one side of the medical floor. Patients have told us they've been woken by a train coming through the walls and continuing on through the rooms. We've been told this different times by different patients. The train always coincides with a death on that side of the unit. Oh my gosh. I don't know. I hope that's the glory train. I hope it's not the express train to Hades. I'm just saying. Wow. I will say this about dying stories. There are some things that when you work in a facility long enough, you just know things happen. You know somebody is going to pass, and medical people will tell you people always pass in threes. If one person dies, you're going to have 2 more deaths. I don't know why, but that's the way it is. It's crazy. This one says, our inpatient unit is built on Civil War battleground. We smell campfire burning just before someone dies. Oh my gosh. Well, at least you have a heads up. So what did you think about these ghost stories? Did it give you some chills? Maybe a little scare for Halloween? I don't know. If you like these kind of stories, if you want to hear some paranormal stuff, like, look, ghosts be out here wildin'. So let me know, comment below if you like this video. I hope you're having a great fall season, and I will see you next time. Bye.